said you felt it was an apt description. Do you remember the description?
Which description of what?
That he was saying in terms of your own behavior, let's say, in
What, that I'm a functioning psychopath or what?
No, that he's talking, no, in terms of not being, trying to discern whether you're afraid or not afraid in a fight. And I can't remember exactly what he said.
Well, Bob said to him, Bob asked him a question which I don't remember that well, but he just said that, quoting Town, that if Gary's back's pushed up against the wall, even though he may get into a situation that might overload his ass, if he's pushed far enough, he just throws fear out the window and, you know.
And when you're faced, let's say, with a physical thing, in a bar or something like that, you never get a feeling of fear.
No. Yes, but after following the fear, there's a feeling that comes about from years of specific encounters.
Do you think you smell it?
Yeah,
Immediately?
there's a definite smell to it.
What happened at Daisy, for instance?
At the candy store?
Yeah, at the candy store.
When I got into a fight with 3 guys?
Yeah. What happened? I mean, from the beginning.
From the beginning, I walked in with a date. We sat down, ordered a drink. She walked back to the ladies' room. The drinks had just been served. And as she was coming back, walking beside the bar, the place was very quiet. It was maybe 25 people in the whole place. The last guy on the end of the bar, sitting in a group of 3 or 4, grabbed her by her arm and wouldn't let her go.
And you wanted to dance with her?
No, I don't know what he wanted to do because I couldn't hear it. But all I saw was he was holding her arm like this, and she was trying to pull her arm free, and she couldn't. And as you said before, right there, you could smell the trouble, which I didn't want, and I was hoping she could pull her arm free and come back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain period of time that passes when you know she's not going to get her arm free, and something has to be done. I've got to either walk out the door or walk over there and rectify the situation.
So what happened?
I walked up and, rather than just whack the guy, which I might have done 7 or 8 years ago, I said, what are you doing? And with that, there was a long pause and an eye-to-eye conflict. And there was just enough of that eye-to-eye conflict to make me go like that. And just doing that, the 3rd guy in the end had come around, and there was a punch coming, and all I was able to do was drop. And I got hit, and hit good, and was knocked back against the bar. But I wasn't hurt. That saved me.
When you say hurt, you mean you weren't dizzy?
I felt nothing. I just knew I'd been punched, and I was back against the bar like that. And the next thing you notice, because in a situation like that, you're oblivious to everything around you other than what's facing you, were 3 guys coming at me. And it's not a boxing with the Marquess of Queensberry rules. I knew it's me or them. And I was back against the bar like this, and the first guy off the bar closest to me was the guy who grabbed her. And I hit him and knocked him out. And the other 2 came into me, and we fought back all the way onto this dance floor up against a mirror, and went clear from there through the, all the way along the bar, through the entrance into the discotheque, and there's a bar. When I mean a bar across the door, which I knocked them through, then through the foyer, through another door like the one described before, out into the street. And out into the street, which is where I wanted to go to have a little room, the fight proceeded, and I finally got a good kick in on one, and he went down.
Where'd you kick him?
Kicked him right in the balls. That's where you're supposed to kick him. And when he went down, I kicked him in the face and hit him. And as I turned towards the other fellow, who coincidentally was the fellow who sucker punched me. I turned a second too late, and he tackled me knee-high, and I was going backwards. He was quite a bit bigger than me. And I grabbed hold of him, but I was a little late because I was next door to a store that had a little railing, about 3 feet. It hits you about right where your back of your knees. And I went right into that, through the window, and took him with me. It was a 16-foot tall window. And I went through, pulled him through with me. I caught all the glass, he didn't catch any. And I went out after him, right through, from inside the store out back into the street. And you could hear sirens coming, there was an ambulance coming, and people had pulled him away. I couldn't see where he was going, and people were screaming, "You're cut, my God," the muscles hanging out of my back. And they said, "Wait for the ambulance." And I was still looking for him, and I finally couldn't see him, and I walked back inside, grabbed my jacket, went out the back door, had somebody drive me to UCLA to stitch me up.
What's the worst a guy's ever gotten from you? The worst damage? Is the guy
Probably a broken collarbone and broken kneecap.
What happened in Vegas?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Many years ago.
Yeah, when you were with your father. As briefly as you can.
We had gone into a place for drinks, and I was dancing with my date. Great big guy. It's a very small floor. Kept bumping into me, and I said, "Excuse me, it's a small floor. Would you mind not bumping into me so much?" And as I turned away from him, next thing I knew, I was all the way across the dance floor on my ass. So I got up. I wasn't hurt. I walked towards him, and he raised his hands. I knew he was going to fight, and I had to react. And I threw a kick and 2 punches, and I knocked him out. And that was the end of that. But what later followed, about 40 minutes later, as the maitre d' came over to the table, and he said the hotel security guard would like to take your name, etc., in case there's any kind of a lawsuit. So I said, fine. My father was sitting next to me. He says, well, I'll go with you. So we walked outside, and he introduced me to the hotel detectives in a suit, flashlight. The guy that I'd been in a fight with was down the hall, blood on his shirt, and there's some people standing there, and he screamed, he's a professional fighter. And the hotel cop said, don't pay any attention to him. We'll go right in here, and I'll take it, and it'll all be very brief. I said, okay, fine. So we walked into this room, and it was a room where I would say they play cards during the day. Women play cards, and all the chairs and tables were stacked up around. The room was empty. We walked in the room. Myself, I was first, my father was behind me, the hotel cop was third. He started asking me about 2 questions, and with that in comes the guy that I had a fight with 2 other guys who looked quite formidable. And right away, I knew it was a jackpot. And with that, the hotel cop backed up and blocked the door, stood with his back to it.
He was in on it?
Yeah, he was paid off.
Yeah.
So the guy that I'd had a fight with said, listen, I'm going to kill you, you little son of a bitch. My father was in front of me. He started towards me. My father says, wait a second. And with that, he swung. My dad stepped back, and they hit him in the chest. And when he hit my father, I probably went crazy, because I tried to kill him.
You heard the sound?
Hmm?
You heard the sound?
I saw him hit him. And to my disadvantage, I was so wrapped up in trying to kill this guy, because I wanted to kill him, is when I knocked him out and took him down, I was trying to kill him, which took the play away from me, because I disregarded the other 2 guys, which one spun me and the other hit me. Knocked me clear across the room, and all I can tell you from that point on is the guy was on top of me, choking me with my tie. And I saw my father go down from a kick, and the guy go after him, and just that adrenaline you get when in a situation like that, I just picked the guy off me, I don't know how, and threw him through the window, and went after the guy that was on my father. And then about 14 police came in, a couple of my relatives. And one of the cops that came in, there's about 12 uniformed, 2, 3 plainclothesmen, came in, and one of them grabbed my mother in a hammerlock. I didn't know he was a cop. About 6'4". I jumped up from behind and grabbed him around the throat, threw him on the floor. And the next thing I was looking at was a .38. With that, I stopped. My whole eye had been shut, and the whole half of my face was like closed. And we all wound up at the police station. And I sensed that the two guys, I sensed something was wrong at the police station because they weren't there, the two guys he brought in, and later found out that they were 2 off-duty cops. And at the police station, after a lot of discussion, you might say, they said, listen, fellas, we can make the whole thing a Mexican standoff, you know. You forget about it, they'll forget about it.